Hello, everybody, and welcome back, fans, for another exciting DragonCon Town Hall. I'm Dot, and I'll be one of your hosts for today's slew of information. But before I bring on our co host and start the show, DragonCon wants to take a second to make sure all of the fans know about the dangers of social media. If you weren't aware, yesterday some spammers recreated a similar looking DragonCon announcement page on Facebook. It's not real, everyone. Any page that looks like DragonCon but has less than a month's worth of history without the ability to comment just can't possibly be real. Thankfully, it wasn't active very long before it was taken down, but there is always a need to pause and make sure anything you're drawn to on the internet is indeed real and helpful, especially when it comes to our time at DragonCon. This link is and always will be our announcement page for all official DragonCon related information on Facebook. It's also important to know that DragonCon would never, ever solicit funds through any social media channel from our fans. Ever. Ever, never. The DragonCon website and the DragonCon office are the only official places where those transactions can occur outside of the actual event. So guess what? I'm talking directly to you, DragonCon fam. Please don't ever give money to DragonCon over social media. And that means if you see something, please also say something. Okay, okay. Back to what we're truly excited about. Progress report time. I'm going to need a little help with this one. I'm sure you all got an email today in your inbox, but I'm going to need some help from friends because this is going to be a meaty piece of DragonCon Town Hall. So come on in, Sue and Stephanie. Hey, how are y'all today? And we want to give a special shout out well to Sarah Lynn, who is our ASL interpreter for today's show. How's everybody doing?
So good.
Great.
Well, I'm very excited to have you both today. I've not got to do a town hall with you, and these are always like special little times and a reminder that DragonCon is fast approaching.
I'm super excited to have an all-women show tonight. We're really excited to be here. I'm super honored to be part of this. Thank you for having me. And yeah, thanks Sarah Lynn for all our ASL assistants.
Yeah, and we get the honor of talking about the progress report.
It might be the best honor.
We've all been waiting for it for,
I know.
8 months. So are we ready to get into it?
Oh my gosh, let's dive in. Okay, we only got a little bit of time, but let's do it.
Yeah, so I got it in my inbox. I opened it up. I'm a reader. I've been pouring through the pages all day, and we are going to walk y'all through tonight how to navigate it so you all can spend your required summer reading time on that too.
Yeah, and even beyond the progress report, we are going to talk about the question on so many people's minds: single day membership.
Oh, definitely. Fans have been waiting for this moment, and fans that can't always come the whole weekend but want to dip their toes in 1 or 2 days, this is the chance for you. So check out the link just down there on the screen. And yes, single day memberships going on sale at 10 a.m. Eastern on Thursday, August 1st. I repeat, 10 a.m. Eastern, Thursday, August 1st. Put it in your calendar because they're limited. So you got to get them while they're hot.
Yeah, you got to get them while they're hot. They are super limited. Keyword limited. And as we get closer to DragonCon, our social media teams and the website will keep everyone updated on at the door membership availability. So make sure you just get them right now. When that calendar flips to August, check that link.
Day one.
All right. Now, I am sure that we have lots of fans at home ready with their progress report pulled up on their screens with a beverage and a little snack in hand. So let's go.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. Let's get into it. What's first up? Oh, the cover, of course. That amazing cover art. And hey, I get it. San Diego, where's Waldo? Like, where in the world will you be on Labor Day weekend? Maybe, or like, where in the world are you at DragonCon? Who knows? There's many options, but like DragonCon, of course, they are a little sneaky because they're hiding pictures of new merchandise throughout the progress report. So not only do you have to read it, but you got a little bit of extra homework. That extra credit is going to get you to find out about some of this new merchandise.
Oh, the former gifted and talented kid in me is busy hunting. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. We all end up at DragonCon. So I've already seen some hints about official merchandise. Page 4 starts with announcements from leadership that are always worth reading. And it also introduces changes from last year's show that are worth.
Oh.
Exactly. This is the section that tells me where I need to grab my official DragonCon shopping bag with the 2024 design and where to get last year's design. They're in two very different places. And if I had not read that, I could have gotten all turned around heading to the DragonCon store in the Cortland Grand or the Marriott Marquis instead of the vendor hall. It would be a bad news for everybody involved.
Sue, there's no way you could get turned around at DragonCon. Don't you lead the newbie tours?
I do. Thank you for asking. Yeah, I am one of the people that heads up the DragonCon newbies group over on Facebook. And at DragonCon on Thursdays, Thursday afternoons, we take the newbies out on walking tours. It's something we've been doing for close to 10 years now, if not longer. And it is completely volunteer run. It's all fans who just want to help other fans. We do have a tour video that we shot last year of the entire tour that is available on the DragonCon official Facebook group. But also, it is the time of year where we're looking for new tour guides. So those of you at home watching, there's a link down there, that tiny URL link to the sign up form to be a DragonCon volunteer. Now, it's not an official con volunteer position. You're volunteering to tour guide for an hour or two on Thursday afternoon only. So if you're a veteran, if you like helping out other fans, fill that out, hit us up, and we'll get you some more information.
Yeah, that is so amazing. I go to a lot of conventions, and I can't think of another show that actually offers a way for new fans to navigate around such a big event like DragonCon. DragonCon's the only one I know that does that.
Yeah, I can't either. I'm not sure there are too many other events that would require such a thing, to be honest, but we're definitely a pioneer in so many ways at DragonCon.
Wow. Okay, so Stephanie, what's next? What's next up in the progress report?
Okay, well, after that, we're going to go through the guest list as of late June when this list was pulled for the progress report. So have no fear if you don't see a guest that has been announced on social media or the website. Tons more have been added and will continue to be added as we get closer to DragonCon. But next is our list of professionals that are attending, like all of us on the call tonight, as well as performers, vendors. We've got links to their stores so you can look at the kind of merchandise they'll be bringing, pre-plan your budget, pre-plan your shopping.
Oh yeah, and I'm a sucker for the shopping part, so all of you at home that are like me, you got to make your plan. You got to pack an extra suitcase to take it all home. Whatever you got to do, you definitely want to make sure you tune into next month's town hall, because we're actually going to highlight the 2024 exclusive vendor hall exclusives, right? The merchandising pieces that you're only going to be able to find over in the America's Mart building number 2. What about you, Sue? What have you got?
Well, I noticed as we were flipping past these pages, the Dragon's Nectar for this year is advertised in there. So I'm going to have to go check that out a little bit closer. But next up in the progress report, we have over 30, count them, 30 individual programming tracks to feed all of your various fandom needs, as well as themed ads throughout the entire progress report, like that Dragon's Nectar one, to highlight groups of programming which could be especially helpful for folks who might be newer to DragonCon and or be looking to have a different convention experience than they've had in the past. So you can easily find family-friendly events. Another grouping is gaming events, contest-based events, anything to help fans at home determine which events might be the best fit for them. Stephanie, what are you most looking forward to that you've seen in the progress report this year?
Yeah, I mentioned I'm a reader. I mentioned I'm a former gifted kid. So obviously, I'm looking forward to the Page to Stage cosplay contest. It's one of my favorite things to see these book characters come to life because there's so much room for your personal interpretation, and getting to see some of the descriptions from the books actually like turn into real tangible things that usually do it so much better than film adaptations do anyway. I'm so excited to see the creativity that comes on stage for that contest. I'm also super excited. There is a swordplay and stage combat workshop happening. I have done some stage combat in shows that I've done, and it's so much fun to get to exercise that like creative and combat part of your brain. So, being led by some incredible professionals, I think that's going to be something to keep an eye on for sure. Dot, how about you?
Oh boy. Well, like you're a little bit of a nerd for books, I'm a little bit of a nerd for gaming. So I've got my eye on the gaming section of the progress report, taking a look at all the opportunities to play video games, roll dice, meet some of your favorite folks. But yeah, since I'm a little bit of a tabletop nerd, I'm really, really excited for some of the guests coming this year. It's Dungeons and Dragons 50th anniversary. There's a whole bunch of other smaller tabletop companies coming. And, if you want to take it a step further, there's always LARP. And the LARP stuff has been put in the book along with Werewolf, which I know a lot of people are excited about. But I had heard that there are some location changes and similarities to last year. So the LARP and Werewolf will be in the Westin still. So just like last year, it's going to be in the Westin. The rest of gaming is in America's Mart #3. And we're keeping overnight gaming. So if you're like me and you're a super nerd and you don't sleep at DragonCon, there's always the perfect place there to welcome you. Overnight gaming will be back in the Westin Overlook, which is one of the coolest spaces to host it in. So I'm ready to play some games and roll some dice and click some buttons. And let's see. What about you, Sue?
Some of my favorite things at DragonCon are the DragonCon culture. I'm really excited for Swag and Seek this year and for ribbon exchanges, but it's the fan tracks that I think are really my favorite thing. Just getting together with people and talking about a niche show that maybe 5 people remember, but you bet there's a panel for it.
Yeah, there is. One of my favorite games to play is to walk around and find a panel you never even knew existed and just sit in on it. What's the worst that could happen? At least you're in AC.
Honestly, you might have a plan to walk all the way across DragonCon campus and go to something on Sunday afternoon, but by Sunday afternoon, you want to go to whatever is closest to you.
Absolutely.
I have found some new fandoms that way, I'll tell you what. But we would be remiss if we did not alert fans to our very last in-person volunteer meeting this Saturday afternoon, July 27th. That will be at the Hilton downtown, beginning promptly at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And of course, if you are not a local, it will be streamed. So you don't have to miss out on that meeting if you are not in Atlanta. You can stream it through the volunteer Facebook page, and that link is right below us right now. Further volunteer details can be found on the website in the volunteers section, and that is the new link right below us right now.
Oh, I am getting a message from Master Control that we have some new testimonial videos from volunteers at this past Volunteer Appreciation Day at Dave & Buster's, encouraging all of you to take part just like we all are. So we will be right back.
Hello, I'm Marilyn Teague, and I've been a volunteer for DragonCon since the first day. It was about 1983. And right now I volunteer for disability services. And I'm one of the sign language interpreters. I help. I was the first director of the parade, and I was the first director for registration. And I started a long time ago. And I really enjoy DragonCon, obviously. I want to continue, if is that possible. Whenever they want me to find something for me to do, I'm ready.
Hey there, I'm Shane Worth. I work with DragonConTV. I've been volunteering for 10 years. My favorite thing about DragonCon is you meet such new and interesting people, and I like to just introduce myself to everybody, and I'm not sure what to do with my hands, so I'll see you at DragonCon. You know what that's from, right?
Hi, my name's Tim. I've been volunteering at DragonCon. This will be my 15th year, all volunteering in the con suite. What I like is the people. I mean, we're sitting there in a food service kind of situation, feeding people for free. It builds strong bonds quickly, I think. It's just a lot of fun. I think favorite memory was actually when I started volunteering, I was lined up to volunteer in security. And Joe Campbell saw me sitting at a volunteer meeting drinking a Guinness and said, "You're coming with me." And that's how I wound up in Con Suite. It's been fun 15 years since.
Oh, Dot, we are missing your volume here.
Oh, let me try
You
that
were so
again.
excited
There
by
I
we
was
the
so
go.
excited.
volunteer.
I muted myself. Let me try again. I said I think DragonCon has some of the best, most interesting and dedicated volunteers. It's just it always blows my mind. They're so funny and they're so warm and welcoming. They always have great things to say. It's just the best. Let's see. Oh, and of course, our volunteers and all of these videos and town halls, as I said earlier, reminds us we're getting very, very close. The progress report is like one step closer to DragonCon, and it makes me even more excited, if you can believe that, because we're about less than 6 weeks away from DragonCon, and just like this in situation, anything could happen, right? Oh, breaking news!
Breaking news. Hi, ladies. How are we all?
It's so
Hey.
good to
It's
see Kiki.
It's good to be here. I'm finally on a town hall.
No,
Finally afford. I'm
correct
kidding.
me if I'm wrong. You're not just Kiki. You are also the infamous Toad from the Masquerade. Am I wrong about that?
Guilty as charged. Yes, I'm very excited for the masquerade again this year, but I'm also even looking through the progress report. You all know I love a good party. How many of y'all are going to be going to parties like the Bunny Hutch, the Spectrum Party, the last party of Alderaan? Like, it is going to be a wild week for everybody. And oh my goodness, these parties, you'll catch me at all of them. But yeah, this is going to be a really good year.
Well, you mentioned some breaking news.
Oh, yes, we have a couple of announcements. We're so excited to finally be able to announce the members of the cast of Resident Alien. And those guys are all coming to DragonCon 2024. And that includes Alice Wetterland, Sarah Tomko, Meredith Gerritsen, and of course, Alan Tudyk. So yes, very exciting cast. We have a whole bunch of other guests to announce, but Resident Alien.
You just gave me a heart
I'm gonna have to plan
palpitation.
a little extra for this one, aren't I?
Oh man. Well, yeah, right. DragonCon, they just dropped a bunch of new announcements yesterday too. I feel like the closer we get, the more they're just teasing us now.
It happens every year.
Right.
Every year. Oh my goodness. Well, let's see. We've currently have kind of wrapped up what we can actually fit in this time, because the reality of the situation is we can't give it away all at once. And like I said, you just gave me a heart palpitation. So for my safety, I'm going to call this the end of our town hall. I want to thank you all so much for joining us from home. If you tuned in, I want to thank Sarah Lynn, Steph, Kiki, and Sue for joining us for an all ladies town hall, which has been so amazing and so phenomenal. And more importantly, go get that progress report. And you know what? If you don't like it, keep it from your parents. And if you do, bring them to DragonCon. Thanks everybody for attending the town hall, and we will see you all next month for another juicy lead up to DragonCon. Have a great week, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Bye.